Sign up today for a 7-day free trial at alerts.chartguys.com. Checking back into the crypto space, we have a little bit more clarity in the short term as opposed to last night, where we have continuation down. And this morning, the 4-hour inverse, or not the inverse, the 4-hour regular roll head and shoulders pattern was standing out, and we were looking at the potential of a bear break of 10,320, giving us further daily consolidation. That's certainly what we saw. And as a result, I woke up this morning and sold 25% of what I am swing trading in Bitcoin, knowing that this pattern was potentially possible. So why I did that is because I also had Litecoin orders still set. Those Litecoin orders have filled. So as far as my exposure to the cryptocurrency space, it has gone up since the last video. Sold a little bit of Bitcoin, added a little bit of Litecoin, and now I've done a little bit of day trading, which I'll talk about for the Litecoin position. Right now, we got a big bull spike going on as the 5-minute trend changed, and certainly a bit of BART-like action. And for those not aware, the BART-like action is where they have the spiked hair of BART that looks like a big drop and then sideways trading and then a big bounce, or vice versa. The bulls will take it at this point. Hourly time frame, anything under 10,612 is just a lower high, so we will have to change the hourly trend for this to be meaningful. But essentially what it boils down to at this point, as far as what I'm watching for clarity, is the 4-hour time frame. If the 4-hour time frame can go back to the bulls with a trend change, then our daily higher low will be established. So on the 4-hour chart, anything under 10,688 is just a lower high. That's the most important resistance level for me, and I'm watching for the next couple days, can the 4-hour trend change back to the bulls to give us that daily higher low? And I want to have some exposure to Bitcoin and Litecoin in case we see the daily higher low and then daily higher high into this weekend. Red flags for me would be significant bear volume. Yes, we saw a bear volume spike this morning. That's to be expected with the bear break of support and some stops triggering. But look on the longer term time frame. The daily chart, the volume is going to be higher. This is just on Coinbase, of course. Volume is going to be higher than yesterday, but it's still not meaningful volume here. We got what, 6.5 hours left in the trading day, and we are at less than half of the 20-day average. So it's not high bear volume. If you zoom in on the 1-hour chart, you say, wow, that's a lot of bear volume, but you got to look at the longer term time frames to gauge, is it significant? And the daily chart is the most useful for that, in my opinion. So game plan from here, if we do drop down to lower lows and see hourly oversold conditions or 4-hour oversold conditions, I will continue scaling in some orders based off of 90.71 support. And again, focusing on Litecoin, which we'll look at now. So Litecoin, yesterday, I was talking about how I wanted a position in Litecoin, but I kept reminding myself, wait for the trade to come to you, be patient, daily consolidation could continue, and that kept me from making a poor entry. So I had orders that filled this morning on this dump, and the Litecoin dump was much stronger than Bitcoin, as both the Bitcoin pairing of Litecoin and the US dollar pairing of Litecoin dumped at the same time. So on the hourly chart for Litecoin, anything under 97.13 is just a lower high, but I had orders fill at 95.10, 93.10, 91.10, and I'm just making those numbers up, but essentially that's what it was. And I have sold half of that position now at this point, just about break even. So what that does is I filled for a significant amount. My account was then probably twice as much Litecoin position as Bitcoin. That was a little bit more than I wanted. So I exited at break even in the right around $93 as break even. And now I have about an even exposure of Litecoin and Bitcoin. And again, I'm just trying to get a Litecoin position for the potential of a higher low and higher high on the daily chart. And I will continue to short-term manage that position. And now that I have sold half of it, if we were to see another leg down, I would be comfortable reloading that half in the upper $80 range. So have to see whether this bounce gets any meaningful follow through. But again, 4-hour time frame, as long as we're in a downtrend, the daily higher low has not been established. Anything under 188 is just a 4-hour lower high on Litecoin. The LTC BTC chart is also continuing its daily consolidation. It looks a whole lot like the USD Litecoin chart. So best case scenario for the Litecoin bulls is both this chart and the USD chart changing the daily trend in unison. that's when we get a really powerful move that's best case scenario for the bulls, and that's why I want to give myself at least some exposure for the potential of that happening. Ethereum, daily time frame pulling back. Anything above 190.11 is a higher low. Same story as everybody else. The 4-hour time frame in a downtrend has to change for the bulls. We've got resistance at 228.28. Anything under that, just a 4-hour lower high. And for all the names that we just looked at, short-term support is the low of day. And of course, if we drop down below that level, there is no follow-through on this bounce attempt. The ETH BTC chart, we were watching the 12-hour real tight range in the video from yesterday, and we're right on top of that support, 208. It's currently a double bottom. If that breaks, if 208 breaks convincingly, 02 is the next level, and that would be a clear equilibrium bear break, keeping Bitcoin stronger relative to Ethereum. XRP, daily lower high has now been set, and we're pulling back to try and form the daily higher low. And I say that because the pattern of a higher low every day the last 5 days has now broken. So the 4-hour downtrend has to change back into an uptrend for our daily higher low to be established. Anything under 332 is just a lower high. And BNB, probably the bounce winner at this point. Very significant follow through, and we have not given the convincing top yet because we have a higher low every single day. When that pattern breaks, we'll look for a daily higher low. We'll look for the 4-hour trend change, same as everybody else. But if we don't break the pattern of a higher low every day, this bounce is still going. You can see resistance, 32.62. That's right where we pulled back. That's currently a double top. That was the top of our last daily bounce attempt. So now the bulls, if we do consolidate, they're going to be hoping for good old inverse head and shoulders pattern to try and form a daily higher low and then break the lower high pattern with that double top. Link USD on Coinbase, same scenario on the daily as we have to hold 205, which is our double bottom, and then we have to see a break of 235 to change the trend. 4-hour trend has to change for our daily higher low to be established. Anything under 259 is just a lower high. So everything's correlated in the sense that the setups are the same. We're looking, can the bulls form daily higher lows and then see continuation to change daily trends back in favor of the bulls? So we know that's our scaffolding of the longer term time frame, longer term being just a few days, but that's what we're looking at right now. And we know that the 4-hour time frame is going to be the clearest to show us if that daily higher low has been set. So those two time frames are the most important for me today into tomorrow, and we will see if that 4-hour trend can shift midweek to set up for an interesting, important weekend. If that were to be the case, daily higher lows set midweek, bulls try and make their way back towards the recent high into this weekend, and then we can either see a rejection or a change of the daily trend. So one day at a time as always, and again, I just want to have some swing trade positions. Bitcoin, I am very comfortable with my 9,200 average, and Litecoin less comfortable with a $93 average, but having that Bitcoin better average makes me a bit more comfortable in Litecoin. Target for Litecoin, again, need to see that bull break. I'm just reminding myself. I want to see a bull break of 106, and I would look for profit taking to take some profit after that. One step at a time as always. First things first, bulls have to change the hourly trend from this dump and bounce attempt. Hourly exponential resistance is being back tested. If you are a bear, you are looking at the 4-hour trend, because as long as it's a downtrend, we could keep pulling back on this daily chart. And if you are looking for a bearish entry, you're using the 4-hour lower highs as a level to establish game plans based off of. I appreciate you watching. We will check back in tomorrow as things continue to develop, and do good things. See you soon.
Raised bed update. Put another 3 in over the weekend. We got the mulch paths going. These guys are all full of their manure and rotting wood and ashes and charcoal. And now just have to add stuff to these ones. Already added some charcoal, need some rotting wood. So then after this row, we'll start another row, and we'll probably start going perpendicular to avoid the shade of that big tree. Got a swing that we're gonna put up made out of cedar, and put that there and trellis some stuff up of the side of the swing, and then we'll put more raised beds there. That's the update.